Surprise, motherfucker.
Dear oh me. Yes, guys, welcome back to the most messy show on Cardiff World, nay, Ace Podcast Nation. This is your Fleur Hour. It is Saturday evening. It is post-match reaction to Cardiff City. It feels like it's been a long time coming. I am joined with my brother to another mother, Mr. Matthew Skinny Angel. How the devil are you, you pink-eyed, beautiful bitch?
Tired, but very tired. It's been a long day. It's been a long, not as long.
Where do you believe? No, I know you.
Not as long as it would have been for Sunderland fans. I was talking to some of the fans going into the ground, and they had to leave. Well, they left at 3:00 in the morning. So sickening, really. And then you think, they got to leave that early to get there for a 12:30 kickoff. Like, it's bonkers.
Yeah, it's we touched upon it on Wednesday, mate. Like the Football League done the absolutely dirty, didn't they? But in all fairness, excuse me, the fact that obviously they're leaving Cardiff with 3 points will obviously make it all the more sweeter. Sky and the powers that be have ruined football for fans personally, but that's a different topic altogether. It's too much to get into for that this evening. We'll obviously digest the game. So we've got two perspectives, well, three in fairness. So obviously Mr. Angel went to the ground and was a part of the audience today for the game, so we'll have his reaction on how he felt firsthand. I, on the other hand, and clearly an armchair footballer, and I watched it from the comfort of my own home, so I will share my views on whatnot. And thirdly, of course, you beautiful people in the comments. I know we haven't done one of these for a while now, so it's the first post-match reaction shows we've done since the end of the season. So please get involved, drop your comments, etc. So, it's your guys and girls and A&M's comments, which obviously makes the show work. So please get involved. So we'll start at the beginning then. Crowd. What was it like? Opening game of the season. What was it like at the stadium today?
Yeah, good atmosphere, to be fair. It's still like it to be noisier than what it is. Sunderland brought a decent following down, considering, going back to what I said, leaving at 3:00 in the morning. But the teams up north are always well supported anyway, and they, fair play. So, fair play to every one of them Sunderland fans who come down and made that journey today. That would have been brutal. But, it was a good feeling in the ground. I think myself beforehand was excited, nervous, and, excited and nervous, I suppose. Obviously, with the signings we'd made, I was quite confident. Started pretty well. Disappointed, really, I think, a little bit in some of the selections, maybe, when the team got announced. Hovarth in goals. Should we talk about the selection first then, and we'll just go through
that. For it, bud. Let's go for it, mate. Let's go balls deep.
So Hovarth was in goals. NG, Gutas, Chambers, Callum O'Dowda, Rolls, Siopis, Ramsey, Willock, Tanner, and Robinson. Now, I think the only two probably that I wouldn't have chosen would have been the goalkeeper and Tanner for me. I think I've said it a few times over previous shows. I don't think he's done enough for me during pre-season, Tanner. And his body language today, I don't know what anybody else thought watching it, and I don't know what it looked like for those who watched it on the telly, but his body language looked shocking. He just didn't look as if he wanted to be out there. Now, I know no professional football goes out there, and doesn't want to win, but body language says so much. When you've got people, especially the time, the prices we're in nowadays, and people are spending their hard-earned money, look as if you want to be out there, have a bit of fighting, a bit of fire in your belly. It just didn't look as if you had it. So I was a bit disappointed there. And Horvath, I'm still not convinced he's our number one goalkeeper, to be honest. I don't know what your thoughts are. But, playing out from the back, there's a couple of times where he, passed it out and the defender was right on the per. Like, I think he nearly caught Sio out a couple of times, and it's just, I don't know, we're dicing with death sometimes.
Yeah, I'll get on to Tanner shortly because I wholeheartedly agree with majority we just said there. Horvath, it's an interesting one because if you guys follow the Car City page and things like that, like as in the official Car City website and their social media, etc., 9 times out of 10 you'll see Alnwick as a feature in the videos. Now, that says to me that he's thought of quite highly, but I just don't understand why Bullet has no love for him. If it's one of a better word, it's obviously like he's well loved and well appreciated at the club. There's no doubt about it at all. Bullet, he clearly doesn't favour him, mate. He doesn't favour him. He brought in that useless turd from Arsenal on loan. And he fell flat on his face. He just wasn't good enough. That's the fact of the matter. We ain't gonna have him on the show, so screw him. So he fell flat on his face, and he wasn't good enough. And then obviously Alnwick come back in, and then obviously they brought in Horvath. And Horvath does have a pedigree of getting promotion. Correct me if I'm wrong. Reece David Evans will probably correct me if he's watching along. Horvath has 2 promotions under his belt from the Championship to the Premiership, which is so it shows he's a winner. But I still think that's an open market there. I think there's so much more to peel away from that because it just doesn't seem right to me personally. We'll get on to the defence as well because I got a bone to pick with one of our defenders in particular. But I don't know, mate. It's my honest answer to it. Talking about the defence, then obviously we'll start from back to front. Perry and G. Now,
bit of an off game for me today.
Yeah, for me, that was one of his worst performances I've ever seen of him in a Cardiff shirt. He looked way off the pace. He was making silly fouls. And we've grown to know that Perry and G loves a foul, loves a bit of the naughty tactics, etc. From what I've seen today, he just was not at it. I don't know whether it's because he got 1 foot at the door. And I feel harsh as shit. Like, proper bringing out our best player of the season last year. But he was poor today. He was very, very poor.
Yeah.
Doesn't help, obviously, with the right winger he has in front of him, which we'll obviously cover as well as we go through the team. But I thought Perry and G was poor today. I thought he was very, very bad. He was responsible for me for the second goal that went in. And from the outside looking in, like I said, from my armchair, I thought he was very bad today, personally. I'm not sure, what was it like? Did you pick up on that watching it in the stadium, mate? Or...
Yeah, I just didn't think he was. He didn't. He wasn't his normal self today. And again, I don't want to start the show as a negative. Obviously, we lost 2-0, so we're going to be a bit downbeat. But let's not take away, the type of football that we tried to play today. Christ, last season, I don't think we had more than 50% possession at home at all, to be honest. Now, today we had 64% possession. Granted, we didn't go on and win the game, but the way we tried to play football today was a lot better, and it was different from last year. I still think perhaps, obviously, we're waiting for people to get fit with El Ghazi and this Robertson who's come in. I don't think our midfield looked. We didn't have that. Like O'Dowda, hands up, I'm gutted we got to play him at left back because he looks so strong and powerful going down our left hand side. I think he's wasted at left back, if I'm honest. He done a great job for us again today, and he'll continue to do that. But I just think he offers so much more. I just can't understand. If you look at him compared to Tanner on the right, and how different they are in their approach to the game, where O'Dowda will go on attack and take it to him, and Tanner will have the ball at his feet, and he's always looking for that pass backwards, and that's my opinion. Other people might think, but you just want to see your wingers going at defenders and putting them under pressure, and if they bite in or they jam in early, use his pace to get around them. And I'm a great fan of Callum O'Dowda. I don't know if we're going to bring in a left back and we can push him further up, but I think that'd be best for us. But yeah, just going back to the negativity side of it.
Bacon, doesn't he?
I don't know, because I seen an article the last day or two saying how well he done during pre-season, Bacon, but again, he played him out of position a couple of times during pre-season, played him at centre-back. We'll come back to the centre-backs now in a second, but just the thing on the negativity side, I know it was disappointing we lost today, but it was nice to see that, we did play some really nice stuff at times. Now, I don't know if Rawls, Rambo and CO is the answer, playing all three of them together. I've seen a couple of different mixed reviews on CO. He run his arse into the ground today. Granted, he made a couple of silly mistakes, but when you've got somebody working that hard for so long and just running, granted, he is going to make mistakes, but I don't know. We just didn't have enough. What's the word I'm looking for? We didn't have enough creativity in midfield then for someone to penetrate gaps or go through and make space. And I don't know. It was just a frustrating game today, really, because obviously we got the ability and the players got the ability. It just, again, I think we had 12 shots. How many of them on target? 4, I think. But it is what it is. It comes down to the issues we had last year is, creating chances in that final third, and is a cutthroat business. If you don't take them, you're going to get punished. And we made a couple of mistakes today, and you get punished on them.
So talking about positives, Callum Chambers. How impressed was you of Callum Chambers today?
Yeah, really, really solid performance, I thought. Not quite as confident with his central defence partner today. Again, I think he had a bit of an off game, Gutas. I think Colwell come on and went to clear a ball, and they both went for the same ball last going off, and just little things like that. I don't know. He just didn't seem comfortable, and whether that's playing with Chambers again. Obviously, Mark McGuinness was left out to the side, which rings alarm bells for me. Really, is he on the way out type of thing? As obviously there's been well broadcasted. There's been offers submitted for him. So I potentially think that I'm not sure if we'll see McGuinness in a Cardiff shirt again. To be honest, I don't know what your thoughts are. But yeah, obviously if McGuinness is going to go, we definitely need to strengthen in that area, 100%.
Yeah, it's one of those, mate. I'm leading towards the fact that I think he probably will go, but anything is bloody possible, mate. Who knows in the world of football, let alone Cardiff City, what the hell will happen? I know I said I'll drop to the comments in a bit, but it's just one I want to bring up here. So thank you, Paul, mate. Even lads, I'm a Sunderland fan. You will do well by the end of the season. We might, if we actually get a couple of proven strikers in. Do you know what, mate, Paul? First of all, first things first, I'm not sure if you travelled today, mate, but massive credit to the Sunderland fans for making that trip. I know it was the first game of the season. I know they were there regardless, but obviously Sky and the Football League, as we touched upon earlier, done you guys the freaking dirty. Having you come all the way to South Wales. I bet obviously it made it a bit sweeter leaving our capital with 3 points, you turds. But no, Sunderland have some very good footballers there. And do you know what? If they do bring in that number 9, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't kick on and be a real contender this season. I know Cardiff can do better and will do better, but I think Sunderland showed today that they ain't no mugs, and they are there to be. They are there. They have the ability from back to front, and they can cause a hell of a lot of these problems today. Championship's a mad league to be in, as we all know. We've followed Cardiff and football for many years. It's a nuts league, and Sunderland have the ability. They have the team there and a good coaching staff there to cause a bloody damn sight problem for a lot of teams. So appreciate the love, mate, and confidence. So thank you for that, mate.
Going back. Go on. I was just going to say,
you're right.
Just going back to the game, the first 10-15 minutes we were on top, I'd say. I think if we had snuck a goal our first 10-15 minutes, it probably would have been a different game. I think they scored that goal, I want to say against the run of play. They won a corner and scored from a corner, but it was all Cardiff up until that point for me. So it did come against the run of play to a certain extent. And full credit to Sunderland, they scored the goal and they didn't sit back. They kind of took it to us then for the next 10, 15, 20 minutes. And if anybody looked like scoring again then, it was Sunderland up until half-time, if I'm completely honest. We did start the second half a bit better. But, yeah, it was just a frustrating game to watch. It's disappointing again, but it'll be interesting to see. I know there's certain channels and posts I've seen people calling for Bullock to be sacked already, but which is absolutely bonkers. But yeah.
Yeah, that's mad, by the way, but that's a different story. So if we can move to the midfield. So I got a lot of things I want to talk about this, but positively to start off with, Willock. I tell you what, mate, he is going to be a bloody good player for us this season. He looked quality. Like, there's a bit of a miscommunication at times with O'Dowda and Rambo, etc., with where he wants to pass, etc. But I tell you what, he looks like a boy that will cause problems this year, and I can't wait to see what what the season beholds for him. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I don't know if the manager knows what position he wants to play him in yet. Whether he wants to play him off the left, I don't know. But yeah, he looks as if he's got all the ability in the world. And again, he's a new signing. He's going to take time to settle in, get used to playing with the players now at this intensity. And yeah, it's, as Cardiff fans, we expect everything straight away, don't we? It's always be the same, and you're never going to change that. But I think, the level-headed people, supporters among us, then will understand that, it's not going to happen overnight as much as we'd like it to happen overnight. It's going to take time. We're not very good at having patience then as Cardiff supporters, are we? But it's just, let's just got to keep building on the positives. I know it was negative. We lost 2-0 today, but I was happy in the way that we played or tried to play the game. It's just we need to get that striker in now, which I think he'd come out today and said he still wants 2 or 3 people in by the end of the window. But then, those 2 or 3 players need to be coming in ready to play now, not like the ones he's brought in and they're not ready yet, or they're 2, 3, 4 weeks away from being fit enough to play. We can't afford that. It's a cutthroat business, and points matter from day one. See somebody put something in one of the groups earlier saying we're in the relegation zone already. So it's it's bonkers.
Sorry, jumping back to the comments again. Let's just see another Sunderland fan commenting. I know this is obviously a Cardiff predominantly show, but massively appreciate all fans jumping in. Sunderland fan, Jimmy, welcome, mate. Our first 4 league games away are Cardiff, Portsmouth, Plymouth, and Watford. Yeah, Watford. The EFL may have done a bit dirty on us. I bet at least another 1 or 2 of them games are early kickoffs for you as well. You can give a crap, mate. But welcome, mate. Thank you so much, Jimmy, for commenting. And just on that, again, I know it's predominantly a Cardiff show, so we've got a couple of Sunderland fans clearly in attendance. I'd love to know what Sunderland's aspirations as well this season. You're obviously clearly a big club, so I'd love to know what from a fan base perspective, is promotion on the cards? Is that what what's demanded of Sunderland this season as well? So if you wouldn't mind letting us all know. So sticking with the midfield, obviously I done my positive of Willock. Now I'm going to drop over some negatives. So I think that, Ramsey and Riles today were poor for me. Yes, they passed the ball well. Well, Riles in particular passed the ball very well. We know he's a good passer of the ball, but they could not keep up the speed of play. And we got overrun in midfield. I think personally, you all may well disagree, and which is absolutely fine. But I think that we got overrun in midfield because we just did not have the legs. We relied a lot on CO to do all that donkey work and all the running. And as much as I love Riles and Ramsey, I don't think we can play them together. Because they just don't have the legs to cover the ground. And I think, therefore, then that's when the Sunderland midfield overrun us and just manipulate the game then when we should have been on top, personally. But again, my opinion, I may be wrong. Well, I'm not wrong, but what do you think on the midfield?
Positive for me, Rambo got through 90 minutes. He comes up with moments of magic and stuff, and granted it didn't happen today, but I was just glad he got 90 minutes under his belt, to be honest, and I would probably give him a bit of a boost as well. I wouldn't be surprised if something comes out now in the week or whatever that he's out for 3 months, man, because he's played 90 minutes today, but you never know. Rawls, he did do some decent stuff and try to take the ball forward at times, but again, yeah, I agree with you to a certain extent. I don't think those pair will probably be the first to admit that they haven't got the legs that they once did have. One thing that did disappoint me today with Rawls was his set piece delivery. I don't know if anybody else picked up on this, but it was everything was like overplayed it when it was very deep and just not given many. We didn't have much options. Like, last year I think we highlighted how much we missed him when he wasn't there, when Wintle was taking corners, etc. And he seemed to be on point last year. Granted, that's why we scored so many goals from set pieces. But it was a bit disappointing today. It just seemed to overcook it a little bit.
Yeah, and I think, and do you know what? And it pains me to say it. Like I said, it was the first game of the season and stuff, and you're absolutely right, mate. It's lush to see Ramsey get a full 90 minutes under his belt, because that never happens. It never happens. It's not happened for any club or country for God knows how long, is it? Really, let's be honest. But I just don't think that they can work together. I don't think they can play the same time together, personally. With Robertson coming in, which I can't wait. Mr. Gavin Ray, shout out Gavin Ray, massive. His nephew, and not forgetting you, Gav, joining the club. He's going to bring a lot of energy to midfield, and I just think it'll be a case of CEO with either Rawls and Robertson, or CEO with Ramsey and Robertson, or Turnbull. Do you know what I mean? I think it'll be that sort of combo. I don't think we'll see that 3-person combo again. I don't think, because
I haven't looked excuse me, much into this Robertson. I'm dying. So what type of player? I haven't done any research on Robertson at all, so I don't even know what type of player he is. Obviously, I know he's a midfielder, but like Ruben Colwell come on today. I don't know what's going on with his haircut. I think must have seen my boy's haircut for football tour, and wanted to copy it. But at least, and again, going back to Callum O'Dowda when he's going down our left wing, they're strong with the ball at their feet, and they want to go at players. And I just think we're lacking people in midfield at the moment. The amount of times we play this side-to-side football, and I know, obviously, if we got points for playing balls from side to side, we'd be in the blinking Champions League by now. But it's so frustrating as fans, where you want the ball to go forward and to attack down wings, etc., and we're just playing the ball from side to side. And I know they do it to try to create spaces and gaps here, there, and every bloody way, but we just do it too much, and it just looks so negative. I don't know what your thoughts are on
that. Excuse me, sorry. No, you bang on, bro. You bang on as always. I think, going back to your original comment, mate, I think that Sunderland doesn't score there, we kick on and we control the game a lot more than what played out, But they got that goal, and we just reverted back. I think panic stations kicked in, and we reverted back to our old tactics of side to side, the odd long ball long, try and get over the top, etc.
Yeah, what are we playing long balls? What are we playing long balls to Robinson for? I just don't get it. He's not that type of striker. He's not going to pick balls out of the air.
No, and he's just not very busy, mate. Like the first. the first 15 minutes or so before Sunderland scored, again, going back to that, he looked very busy. He looked up for it. He looked hungry. He looked like he wanted to make something happen. And then it was a case of, for me, I felt that, like, we conceded a goal, and it was like, shit, what are we going to do now? So let's revert back to the old way of playing. We have to have a plan B. We have to have a plan B. And, I hate being negative on these things, especially the first game of the season, our first show doing it. So I do apologize to everyone watching, but there has to be a plan B. We can't be just like, we can see the goal. Shit, it's a fan. Let's go back to how abysmal we was in the back end of last season, Going on to the attackers. Go on.
I was just going to say with Robinson today, he kind of arced his run a couple of times, wanting the ball to be played, and that ball just never come. And it's got to be so frustrating as a striker, right? And I'll put my hands up, but I've never, ever been in that kind of position. But you can see frustration. You can see frustration in people's faces when, they're busting a gut to try and make a run, and perhaps people haven't got that, what's the word I'm looking for? Haven't got that vision then to see him making that run. The higher up the leagues you go and the standard gets better, those balls are played, and they straight away. Strikers haven't even got to think; they know that they'll be found. But the amount of times he tried to arc his run to come from perhaps an offside position to get back in to go to make a run, then, and he just never come off. So yeah, it was disappointing, very disappointing. But as you said, I think
you could see
you've had a good pre-season. Sorry, but he's had a good pre-season, and I think we'll see a different player in him this year. I just don't know if he's going to be able to play up top on his own.
No, and you could literally, obviously, I was watching on telly, and you could see the frustration in his face, his body language, and you could see him the amount of times he was getting in behind, and the communication between Riles and the wingers and stuff, he just wouldn't pick him out, and
yeah,
it's got to be frustrating, mate. And I think, as you said, as time went on, then the more time kicked on in the game, his head started to drop, and he just thought, why the fuck do I bother? Pardon my French, but that started to be I can imagine that's what he's thinking. Why am I bothering to do these runs, burst this energy when it's not coming over the top to me or not going through to me when I'm calling for it, etc. And like I said, I both said it's easy for us to sit here and say it, when we've not played at that level, but it's got to be such a kick in the dick, haven't it, with that?
Yeah, and it probably looked. I don't think it didn't, from his body language, and it didn't come across that. Last year, you could tell when he was peeved off, type of thing. His head would go and things. But in fairness, he worked until he went off, and he clapped, he went off. Kanga, come on, whatever. So I think his work ethic has gone up a couple of notches since the end of last season, and he has worked hard. So I just hope now he gets a run of games. We can find the formation that's going to help suit him, so he can obviously try and get the ball in the back of the net a couple of times like he's done during pre-season. So, and I think, once he gets one or two, I think they'll come regular, I'm hoping. But it's just finding that right formation. And the manager at the moment probably doesn't know what his best team is, I don't think. Or he hasn't been able to put his best team out yet, because the guys he brought in are not fit enough to play yet. So it'll be interesting. And I know I said earlier about, you're counting points from the first day, which we are. And I think we just need to have a bit of patience and realise what we're trying to build. I think I would love to have seen us in the playoffs this year. I'm not saying that's not going to happen because obviously there's a long way to go. There's 42 or 43 games or whatever it is left to go. I still think potentially we can still do it. Obviously we can, but I just think we need to be level-headed as well and just keep building, and we'll get there in the end. Like,
oh, what a motivational speaker you are, Range.
I know. Get me in the changing room, bullet.
Just pass the
watershed now, isn't it? Yeah, let me in here, bullet.
Yeah,
I'll fire a few back into him.
Do you know what? I'll tell you what, though. Last couple of comments from ourselves before we jump into your beautiful comments, guys. It's been literally flooded, so it's meant. Thank you. Do you know what? Do you know one thing I was really impressed with today was Mate when he come on. You don't seem to impress yourself. I thought he worked like a little motherfucker when he come on. I thought he was. Yeah. He proper went balls deep on it, like, and proper went for it.
And again, that typifies what you want as a winger: being strong, not afraid to take the ball on, put your. Tanner's not a small bloke. Like, I'm not saying he's massive, but use your advantage, use your strength. Tanner's quite built. He's fast, and I just don't think he's got it. I still think, obviously, with the people we've brought in now, and again, we've said this numerous times last year with Tanner, and he's got all the ability in the world. We know that because we've seen what he can do. But I just think going out like a Joel Colwell, who's worked magic for Cheltenham today against Newport, which obviously is not great from a Welsh football point of view, Newport losing. But it is for Joel Colwell because he scored 2 goals today, including a 96-minute winner. So I'm bang happy for him. But I just think Tanner needs to go and play 40 games of regular football, competitive football, not coming off the bench for 10, 15 minutes or starting and playing 60 minutes. Because if I'm honest, I'm surprised he come back out in the set for the second half this afternoon, to be honest. And again, I don't like to be negative, but at the end of the day, it's cutthroat, like I said. And at the end of the day, they're in the shop window, and people are gonna focus on the negatives rather than the positive.
Right, so we will jump into the comments. There's a few.
I think Rhys David Evans have been on the whiskey because he says he sees Tanner as a 10 rather than a winger. I think he's been on the whiskey again.
No, I agree. Oh yeah, no. I agree, mate. Tanner's not a winger. I agree with Rhys. He's a 10, not a winger, personally.
He had one. I don't think he could finish it. He hit one ball today. I think he's still traveling somewhere.
All right, so let's have a look. Bear with.
That's a good comment from Jimmy there at 9:40. We talked about the press, and it was something as Cardiff fans, Jim, we talked about last season that we didn't do enough of, and we wanted the team to do it more. So it's a good comment that you've made there, that obviously Cardiff put Sunderland under pressure for the first 20 minutes, and then once you scored, it kind of went non-existent again. I don't know how much of that is from them becoming tired, whether it's a different tactic from the manager. Once they've conceded a goal, they don't want to concede another one straight away. I don't know. But yeah, I thought he worked really well for the first 20 minutes. And yeah, just went Pete Tong in.
Yeah, because there was a comment, going back to the Sunderland side of things. Where's the comment to? Paul Graham, who's just subscriber as well. So thank you so much, mate. Massively appreciate that. It's not your own personal team. So thank you, buddy. Sunderland fan says if we can get a couple of strikers in, we should be looking at a playoffs minimum. But for the same reason, getting a striker in seems like winning a lottery. Agree. Yeah. What's a striker looking like these days? There was a few more. Where's he going? Reece Evans says, Riles and impact stuff for me now. Rambo, you can allow not to have the legs long as long as it's the most temporary role. Robertson CEO would be interested in mobility and pace. Yeah. And it feels awful because with him being the longest serving player at the club, Joey Riles, he just doesn't have the legs for it. He doesn't have the legs. And as much as I love him and the Kaya fans love him, I just think if Bullet wants to kick on, then unfortunately I don't think it involves Joe Riles as a first team player, as harsh as that sounds. Interesting comment from Raniero Garcia. We approve a manager that can play attacking football and develop youngsters. We need Slavslav Jukanovic. That's interesting. So one on the Bullet out train. Interesting.
You've done pretty well to pronounce that as well. I'm pretty impressed. Pretty impressed with that.
I mean, I know who that gaffer is, so I'm aware of him. So that's an interesting one. He is a very good manager, by the way, as well. The Viking Queen, Louise says, Eric Bullis, Barmy Army. Where we go? Media Radio says, disappointing CEO didn't use his eye today. Yeah, guys, keep those comments coming in and those questions coming in. We won't be staying about much longer. Paul says, welcome, Paul, buddy. Mate for me improved that second half, but we just failed to knock on the doors. Yeah, that's very well put indeed.
I did do a match day vlog today as well. Yeah, I did a match day, couple of short videos. Si's going to put them all together and just about some of the stuff that went on through the day today. So that'll be out on the channel tomorrow. I'll try and do another one then for Bristol Rovers on Tuesday. I bought tickets to go and watch that League Cup game Tuesday night. So any excuse to get out the house for hour. So yes, stay with Evans. Costco date on Tuesday, my friend. But I'm not allowed pizza this week because my diet hasn't been the best. I used the joint account to pay for it.
I thought your wife bought it. She just gave you at the house.
Yeah, probably.
So that's a good point here for Media Radio. Would love to see Keenan Ashford giving a run of games to kids as feelers. I love Ashford. I've been barking on about him since before the back end of last season. He had a good run of games during pre-season as well. I think that he's a bloody good footballer. But it'd be interesting to see where he fits. Like, will he when he comes in, will he be a winger? Will he be a number 9? It's going to be interesting to see what comes of it. Media Radio, where would you put him then? What would be your front three then, if that's the case? Because obviously you'd be a front three. So what would be, on everyone in the comments, what would be your ideal front three as we begin to wrap up?
He's from your neck of the woods as well, isn't he?
Who, Kian?
Yeah. Is he from up Bargood way?
No, that's Kieran Evans.
I'm sure Kieran Ashford's from around our way as well. His mother works in the bank.
Oh, he might be. Oh, maybe. Oh, no. Kieran Evans is from, he went to ELV, but ELV massive. Bargood massive.
Bargood.
Who hasn't replied to him?
People from Bargood are massive.
He hasn't replied to him. Kieran Evans hasn't replied to him on Instagram yet, so I'm sad, but that doesn't matter. So yeah, I think Tuesday will be a bit of an experiment. Do you think we'll see like literally 11 changes come Tuesday?
Yeah, I would imagine so. The people that were on the bench today will probably start, and I can't see Hobart probably won't be in the side. I would imagine that Jack Anick will have a run out. Matt Turner will be on the bench. Either Conte or that young Ronan will probably play right back. Be interesting to see then. There's a couple of good youngsters they can play across the back. Shown that during pre-season. Midfield-wise then, I don't know if obviously that Robertson was on the bench today, so whether they look to give him some kind of minutes on Tuesday, I don't know. Keane Ashford will have a run out, no doubt. Conte will probably have a run out. Hopefully Kanga will have a start. Wouldn't be surprised if Mate has a start as well. Bristol Rovers won today as well, 1-0. So they'll be a bit more confident. I know we beat them last week at their players pre-season friendly, but it'll be a different game for the League Cup one. And we only opened a couple of stands, so I don't think they're expecting many to turn up to watch it. I don't think. A couple of blocks in the Ninian stand, I think. You might have seen Wayne Rooney in the house today, Louise, because Plymouth are actually playing tomorrow. So Wayne Rooney, I don't know if Plymouth, I'm pretty sure going back to one of the comments, Jimmy or Paul, was it Jimmy and the other chap from Sunderland? Excuse me, my memory's shocking, guys. You'll get to watch. You'll get to know that if you tune in regularly.
Yeah, it was Paul, mate. Paul Graham.
I think they said they got Plymouth their next away game, haven't they? I think. So it wouldn't be surprised if Rooney was there today, scouting obviously Cardiff and Sunderland.
Well, I read that at first that she thought she saw Wayne Rooney in her house. So that's probably better news that he's at the Car City Stadium, not in her house, because he's an interesting soul. So before we begin to wrap up, Ben, thank you all so much for your comments, your love. We'll get to that, Paul, mate, before we drop off, because we have to reply to on that one. Please make sure you guys like, subscribe. Like Mr. Paul Graham has already done, so thank you, mate. Even though he's not even a Cardiff fan, so if he can do it, you can do it too. And for all you other fans, your Cardiff fans, and whoever else wants to support, make sure you guys, girls, they, thems, etc., check out AJM. No job is too little, no small, whatever else the words are. They can do anything with your printing, and obviously don't forget to become an Ace Podcast Nation member, where you get early access to shows. There's going to be a few things knocking about for some prizes and tickets and things like that as well. So for the price of a pint of Carl in a month, you can become an Ace Podcast Nation member as well. One last thing that I would like to bring up to you before we close. Paul Graham, honorary member now of the Fleur Hour. What do you think of Chairman Tan?
I'll answer that first of all, and just going off what was released yesterday in the press with the obviously he'll have his lovers and he'll have his haters, but for me it's a bit of it is love or hate, really. He's done some good things at Cardiff, he's done some bad things, granted, but we wouldn't be where we are without him. It's plain and simple. The money he's put into the club, and the money he's continuing to lose and invest in the club, like I said, we wouldn't be where we are if he wasn't there. Simple as that. We'd be, God knows where we'd be. And on the back of that, then yesterday, I don't know if you've seen the interview on Sky Sports yesterday with that Ken Chu. They've agreed now. I think they've started work on building, our own training facility. For the last 20 years, I think we've been renting the grounds off the FAW and the Vale of Glamorgan. So I think that's a big positive and it's a big step forward. I know obviously they had that new academy centre built. I think it opened last year, did it? Or the year before, maybe? So, things are definitely working well behind the scenes. I think we was all a bit worried about the board and would they support the manager with new signings and things during pre-season, which just seemed that they have backed him. So for me, I'm a lot more positive at the start of this season regarding, the powers that be above Bullet and things than I was last year. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head, mate. To be honest, there's been some ups, there's been some downs. It's proper love-hate sort of mentality, I think. And the new training ground is massive. We've been sharing with the FAW for a very, very long time now. That's huge. And you're absolutely right, mate. He's backed him. He has backed him, and it's time to put up our shirt up now. I think only time will tell where we go and what will happen, what will be. Que sera, and all that. But it's nice to see he's backed him, mate. And that's all I can say on the matter.
Happy days.
Without further ado,
let's just say another big thank you to the guys in the chat this evening. Loads of comments come through tonight, guys. Massively appreciate it. If you do fancy going back on and putting comments after the live has ended, that'll help us out even more. So if you can do that, that would be appreciated. If you can share the video and the link on your Facebook or your Instagram profiles, your Twitter or X or whatever it's called nowadays, share it with your friends. That'll be fantastic. Massive shout out to the two Sunderland lads who've come into the chat tonight. I don't know if you actually went to the game or you went to the game on the TV or watched the game on the TV, but I hope all your supporters got home safe and sound. Credit to your club this afternoon. It was, they come down in good numbers. Very vocal throughout, and it was a good crack. So, yeah, peace out, everyone.
Yeah, good night, God bless. Thank you so much all for joining. Do you know what? There's a reason why we keep you around to these things, because I'm fucking useless at it. But without further ado, is there anything one left to say, Mr. Angel? For the first time this season, by the way.
Up the flower.